Hello everybody and welcome to the Shapr3D tutorial, how to model a handle for a tape dispenser based on two concept sketches you see like here. And when this is done, then I will show you how we can visualize the material and look of this design inside the visualization tool and then create really nice, beautiful product presentations. The file is going to be shared with you, so please feel free to download it. As you know, there are always a lot of modeling tips and tricks. Particularly in this one, I will show a really nice process about how to model all these intricate details in a very easy and smart way. And with all that said, let's get started. So here is the starter file. Let's talk about this first before we get going. What you see here symbolizes actually a common situation in an industrial design process. You have a finished part. Here we can see the top part of the tape dispenser, and our task is now to develop a handle that can be mounted below it. And to guide the designer, we have a side and a front sketch. The sketches are positioned, so they are in the background. They are also scaled, so I can use those not only loosely as a reference, I can literally really sketch over them. The sketches are also created very carefully so that dimension-wise or detail-wise, these elements are all at the same position. Now, before I continue, I should study the sketches. So I can see that in this front view, the sides are kind of vertical. Then I have some sort of a bottom element, and here this looks like a fillet or a blend. I go to a side view. Here I can see this foot, the stopper for a finger, and there must be some sort of a base on top that, well, logically will connect to here. Okay, so how do I now start? This is very linear. The sides are vertical, which means I can start from this view and do an extrusion. Okay, so the first step now would be to create a sketch. And I can go to sketch. I can use the fit point spline, or if you would like, you can also work with the control point spline. And now I can explore where and how do I have to put my 3 points to make a nice arced or curved curve. Wah, wah. This looks pretty good. You see that I'm not 100% following also the hand sketch. The hand sketch might be a little bit inaccurate. I'm trusting actually more here the quality of this spline. So maybe like this. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Okay. Let's do the same on the left side. You see here, I zoom in and out, select individual fit points, and then adjust the look of this curve. So here I'm actually pretty good. Here, this is actually a little bit convex, and this might work out. Okay, so next step. I will draw 2 horizontal lines. And then I make them vertical and horizontally constrained, so horizontally. That's very good. Along the grid, trim, cut these 2 pieces off. Very good. This might be all I really need. The whole handle is 30 millimeter wide. So it means from this view now, I can push and pull and extrude this by 15 and then another 15 to this 30. Okay, yeah, this actually seems to work really well. I can for a moment as a test select this top part and then extend it and see, oh yeah, this grows up really well. You recall that when I did the left sketch, I was curious when this is a little bit concave, how far will this point move up? Will this be here or there or there? But where it is right now, that's actually pretty good. Okay. For a moment, I just undo this step. So this part is kind of done. I know that at one point, this has to be mounted on a plate. Okay, so I also have here the sketch. How can I draw a sketch that is perfectly flush under there? It's actually easy. Check this out. So I will actually select this line. So this line is nice and far away. Go to the right view. Then I go to More and Project. Tap onto the grid and select Done. I will hide now this object and here this part. And look at that. There's actually a line projected in. This line I can lock. This is going to be a reference line for me now. And what I can do now is I can draw another line and another line. I drew them on purpose a little bit off. As you see, these two lines I can make parallel. And this line to this line I can make parallel too. Two lines at the ends. This should be perpendicular. These two lines should be perpendicular. Beautiful. So you see, this way I drew actually these two lines being perfectly rotated and aligned with the bottom part of my plate. Now, obviously, I don't necessarily know where's now the end, where does it touch. Look at this. When I go into the sketch and I have the tape dispenser open, I have then actually snapping points. And you see how I'm snapping this right onto these magenta points, and I move this to there. There we are. Perfect. Okay. And in the sketch here, we can see this should not be as far. So maybe till there. Here we can keep this. Beautiful. So not complicated to draw this rectangle, rotate it correctly, and then position it perfectly under this part. Very nice. Okay, so let's extrude this one out. I select the sketch profile, extrude this out. There's a new body, very good. And now I would like this face to be flush with this face. I selected the extrusion face, the target face, and go replace face. There we are. Here I can bring this over, and I might select this edge. So this to this, replace face. Very good. Okay, beautiful. This I would like to be flush with this face. Also here I select my face I would like to adjust, the target face, and then replace face. There we are. Cool. Okay, so now I have actually the main handle, and I have the socket where it kind of like will sit onto. The socket is pretty easy, or the base, so we can adjust the edge roundings. You see here 8 millimeters and 8 millimeters. I just made this the same. Very good. And to be consistent, I will now do this on every edge. There we are. Very good. If I take a look at the sketch now from here, I can see that from here to here, this distance is a little bit different probably than there. So this is 9, and then here this is 7. Okay, so up to us if we want to make this very even. Here I will set this to 44 and move this 2 millimeters in. Very good. Okay, yeah. So now this socket or base is more centered on the handle. Okay, very good. So the next step. Direct modeling is really all about structured steps. Step by step, we walk ourselves towards the design problem. We also have here this detail, there this detail, and obviously these sharp corners here or edges we don't really want. So we can round those. I know that the width is 30 millimeters. I would like to have a nice rounding. So we can do those and fillet them by 15 millimeters, because 50 millimeters is the radius. The diameter then is 30. There we are. Look at this. This looks pretty good. Okay. Very nice. How do we do now the bottom part? Here's an interesting trick. So the base we move up by 5 millimeters. This went the opposite direction. So -5. And there you can see now this pretty much fits it well. Okay. Then I can extrude this one down by 5 millimeters, but as a new body. If we do it this way, you see we have like a nice flat part at the bottom, kind of like a foot. Alternatively, we can also do actually this now. So you see here I have this face, and this face I will create a new plane on it. Very good. And that's all I needed to do. And then this I will move down 5 millimeters again. So what I can do now with this plane is this part I would like to split along this plane. There, beautiful. And then these two faces, here's the trick. I can select, start the move command, and then I move this for 5 millimeters as we want forward. There. Let's verify our theory. If we join now these two pieces together into one, select this edge, and then round this, can we? Yes, we can. Look at this. This looks beautiful. Okay, you see? Very easy. To make this maybe a little bit softer, can we round this? This works too. Really good. Now, here's a little trick. I will do actually go back. So I have this and this piece back, and I would like those actually later to be as a copy. So we solved this modeling down there. So I went back. You will see why. Here comes now the next step. How do we do this part? Okay, now let's hide all this. Very good. I will draw myself somewhere a line. Okay, this is nice. With the offset single, I can do an offset 1 millimeter. This looks very good. There, I connect this. Very good. And then this, I drag out. There we are. So why did I do this? This is kind of like a different process, how to split the body. I will select all these interior faces, extrude this really far, double tap, move this back, and then this could be my Boolean intersect or cut command. I could also, as an alternative now, place actually two split surfaces on each of those, and then do a split. Since I did this before, I would like to show you an alternative. So from this one, I would like to find the intersection here. From this one. Keep the originals. Yes, please. This I will hide. This I will hide, and look, there's actually my intersection. Here now I can do exactly the same. I will go to the move command with these two faces selected, move now the 3D widget onto this edge so I can perfectly slide those at an angle away from the handle. Yeah, there. Let's take a look at the sketch. There we can see not really far enough. Zooming in actually allows you also to snap to finer grids. Really very useful. Okay, very good. So I am going to hide everything else. And you will see now that we have a lot of building parts. This one here I will delete. This is the piece on top. Very good. So all this I will put into a folder. And then I will call this raw. There we are. And then this, I can make a copy. And move this a tick forward and tick backwards. And there's a copy. Hide the previous one. And now I can go ahead and test here. So you and you join. So when I join you, what will be the result? Oh, that actually looks pretty good. You see in the back, this is all gone. I only have this edge here. Now I can select this edge and do a nice fillet and study how this looks. This is beautiful. You see now how here at the ends, the fillet actually switched and is coming down. This is really nice. Very good. Okay, so you and you join. Here I will redo this fillet. And then select this and this. There's a little bit of fragment, but this fragment right here is gone. You saw how we filtered that out. This is actually really nice. So this we can, 2 millimeters, we can clean this up, 2.5. Very good. Here, this has a distance of 1 millimeter. We want this to be maybe 0.25. So it adds a little bit of a nice rounding. There we are. This is very good. And then you and you, we also can join. There we are. There. And then we can take a look at this part. When we round this, what happens? What can we do? What are our creative possibilities here? So you saw how far I pushed this one out. Yeah, this can work. This edge here, the surface, this command, or this combination of geometry and filleting creates is maybe not necessarily what I want. I'm also have to be aware of that. Well, what's going on there? The fingers, they only are touching the lower part of the handle, not necessarily the upper part. Well, we can keep it this way. Now there you can see how it took a moment to calculate, but now I have a fillet from here to there, or I will go with a small value of 4. So it jumps back, and then I will start increasing this. However, now I need to be aware of, I later want to also round this other edge, this one here. So I need to be careful how far I push the fillet for the handle to the base. So it does not necessarily collide or overlap. Here, this is kind of like at its end. Okay, now that's not too bad. There we are. That's a nice study. We can select the bottom part and say shell 2 millimeters and give this a nice shelling. Very good. And there we are. This is then how we actually very quickly out of the hand sketches were able to model this handle. Here I will call this handle study, and then I will drag this one out. This I can delete. These two sketches I can all put, for example, into the raw if I want to, or if I go back, I put this into a new folder, call this, let's say, construction. Very good. Hide this. I could, for example, now go back, take to here, make another copy, and then modify my process, how I modeled, and then quickly make another version, another iteration. And you see actually how fast this can go, and this also explains why I kept this as a copy. In our case, we assume this is finished. And we are ready to visualize materials and properties inside the visualization tool. So for that, let's go to the visualization tool. On the right side, we have all our basic materials, plastic, steel, and others. I will select this matte ABS and push it onto this part. Then for the handle, I will do the same. Very good. There we are. Also for this part. This is transparent. Then we have steel. If I go further down, there is the steel. There we are. Put this onto there. We have a lot of screws. We can use the steel or the rough version. That also looks really good. And we can move the materials with a finger or the pencil. There we are. So you see it's actually pretty fast to do all this. Then let's go back. We have this selected material on top, you see. This now I can drag onto multiple other elements here and just continue assigning this material to everything. There's a little bit of a felt glider. At the bottom, we have felt. Very good. There we are. Look at that. Amazing. How do we do the transparent part? The plastic also has a nice glossy transparent. Let's see how will this work. There we are. So you see I modeled actually the roll including a small strip. There's another metal part there. For this, actually for that one I might use the polished one. That looks quite nice. There we are. And going back to all these individual elements here, this would be more kind of like a matte material. It's kind of like the paper wall where something would sit onto. Very good. So now we have actually the basic materials assigned, and we can go ahead and start styling it. Okay. So I have used or applied, as you can see, all these materials. Steel rough, steel polished, a red ABS, an orange polypropylene, the transparent material. When I select this polypropylene, it also highlights the object. So this maybe should look like cardboard. So we can adjust the color so it looks maybe more like paper. Okay, this is good. Very nice. With the matte ABS, now here we can adjust the color of the whole design. Maybe it should be a nice darker blue, kind of like a nice tool. Very good. Okay. But the handle, I would like to look different. So when I double tap the handle object, you see now it shows me the material. And check this out. The moment I slide the color here, maybe we go to something yellow, give this kind of like this type of a tone. It creates then a new material for that. See? Beautiful. Very easy. So this way you can very quickly study different material and color themes for a product. Here, for example, I used the transparent part. So here, this steel rough, I can drop over it and just replace it. So easy. Very good. To create a nice product presentation, we can go to environment. We can go to transparent to make this background transparent. Look at the plastic material. That looks pretty cool, actually. Also with this strip I modeled there. Somebody can really imagine how this would work. We could go to solid color and then also there explore what type of color or background would, for example, work. Or the gradient. The gradient works really nice. There we are. Then we can go to a nice position like this. Go to view. Identify now. Do we want a standard view, so orthographic, or this view where we are in right now? Do we want this to be more orthographic, or do we want this to be super dramatic? I would not over dramatize it, but something like this can actually look pretty cool. That's about the impression of how amazing it would be to use this tool. Very good. Upper left corner, we can click capture, and then we created a snapshot of this material visualization. And that is everything what I wanted to show you.